Welcome to the podcast for and about Colorado Springs. I'm your host, Brittany Felix, and every Monday through Friday, I'll be talking about a different aspect relating to the Springs, including upcoming events, restaurant reviews, local business spotlights, media coverage about the Springs, public works projects, local activities, answering your questions about the city, and much, much more. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any of the updates. And also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find links to all of those social media accounts at springspodcast.com/social media. The Colorado Springs podcast is proudly sponsored by Elevation Hydration. Elevation Hydration is the only hydration therapy clinic serving Colorado Springs, and they are dedicated to helping you elevate your life. They use intravenous vitamin therapy to help athletes needing a boost of energy or help recovering after a tough competition, people experiencing cold-like symptoms or dehydration from the flu, anyone needing to recover quickly from a rough night out. I'm looking at you, college kids. And just anyone wanting a healthy alternative to preventative care. They have a wide variety of hydration packages to help address whatever your needs are. They're conveniently located inside Lush Beauty Lounge at 812 Village Center Drive, and if you mention this podcast during your visit, you'll receive $10 off any hydration package. To learn more about Elevation Hydration or to schedule an appointment, visit springspodcast.com/hydrate. Welcome to episode 29 of the Colorado Springs podcast. It is Tasty Thursday, which means it's time for another restaurant review. And as I promised in yesterday's episode, this week it's not a Mexican restaurant. I actually decided to try out New Day Cafe. It's located at 5901 Delmonico Drive, and they are open daily from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So with those hours, obviously they specialized in breakfast, lunch, and of course, brunch. And when I actually went, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I was not quite in a breakfast mood. And going at that time, it also was pretty nice because the place was pretty empty. There are a lot of office parks nearby, so I would imagine it gets pretty busy during the traditional lunch hours. But like I said, at 2 p.m., I think there were only 2 or 3 other tables occupied, and it's a decent-sized space for being in a little, shopping center. My first impression of the place when I walked in was that I absolutely loved how it was set up. I love the mixture of industrial and rustic as far as decor goes, and this place kind of has that vibe a little bit. It's got the exposed air ducts and pipes and everything in the ceiling that are painted black, but it also has, the really cool light fixtures, which, by the way, this sounds so odd, but I am a sucker for unique and rustic light fixtures. And so this place kind of had me won over from the very beginning, and I especially love that they featured artwork on the walls of Pikes Peak. So it was a nice little homage to, the city that we live in and that we love, and the mountain that we love. Now, I was going to try and branch out a little bit and get a Reuben sandwich since I was not in the mood for breakfast. However, I saw that they had a Southwestern cheeseburger, which said it was topped with Texas toothpicks. So battered crispy onion and jalapeno strips, bacon, barbecue sauce, and cheddar cheese. Every single one of those makes me instantly say yes to a burger, especially when you combine them all together. And a lot of places do the crispy onion strips or onion straws, whatever you want to call them. But this is the first place I've come across that has crispy jalapenos on the burger. And I knew right away that I had to try this. And another thing that I love about this restaurant was that they actually offer Coca-Cola. I am an avid Coke drinker. I do not like Pepsi. And so when I find a place around here that serves Coke, I get ecstatic and log it away in my memory to visit in the future. It's that important to me. So I waited for the burger for about 10 or so minutes. And when it came out, I knew right away that I was going to absolutely love it. The fries were exactly how I like them. They could have used a little bit of seasoning. I will say that they were a little bit bland. So if they had some fry seasoning or some seasoned salt, that would have just made them so perfect. But they were that perfect combination of crispy and crunchy on the outside, but still soft on the inside. So they hadn't been overcooked, which was fantastic. And the burger was amazing. I mean, there's not really any other way to put it. I absolutely loved it. The meat tasted delicious. and the cheese had melted so perfectly, and it was actually kind of like melted onto the fries, which was like amazing. And the combination of the jalapenos and onion straws with the barbecue sauce just worked perfectly. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say this is a gourmet burger by any means. It's greasy. It's everything you expect in a good burger. And I know that I will absolutely be going back there again, especially considering it's very close to my husband's office. So it's super easy to just run over there and have lunch with him. The staff was very friendly, very attentive, so that was great. And they do have a large outdoor seating area, so that'll be nice. They did not have it open when I went. It was a little bit chilly, and they were kind of getting close to closing since they close at 3 p.m. But I will definitely go back when we can sit outside because it has a full view of Pikes Peak, and what better way to enjoy a delicious meal than staring at a beautiful mountain. And oddly enough, one of the things that I noticed that I particularly liked about the restaurant was the volume of the music. I know that seems like a silly thing, but it absolutely drives me nuts when the music is so loud in a place that you feel like you have to shout just to be able to speak to the person next to you. Now, I dined alone, so that wouldn't have been an issue in this case, but it still makes me feel like I can't think when the music is that loud. And it was the perfect level where you can hear it, you can hear every word, you can know what the song is, but you don't feel like it interferes with your conversation at all. So I want to mention that I did notice in doing the prep for this episode, if you sign up for their mailing list on their website, you get a free cup of coffee, so that's interesting. And I will have links in the show notes for this episode to their menu and their website. I'll also include their address and phone number and some pictures that I took on my visit so you can see the light fixtures that I raved about at the beginning of the episode and just kind of get a feel for the restaurant in general. If you've ever been to New Day Cafe, stop by the Colorado Springs Facebook page and let me know what you thought about it. Or if you have any restaurant recommendations that you want to see featured on here, you can leave those on the page as well. Just search for Colorado Springs Podcast on Facebook or go to springspodcast.com/social media, and you can find links to all of my social media accounts. That is going to wrap it up for today, and I will see you back here tomorrow for yet another Free for All Friday episode. Have a great day.